Are you trying to potty train? Have you tried potty training and failed? Everybody's making you feel horrible because their kids were potty trained in 3 days or 1 week. This video is probably for you then. Hi, my name is Serein. I am a first-time toddler mom to the Nugget. She's currently 2.5 years old, and we have officially potty trained, but not without a lot of heartache, tears, frustration, and feeling like I was a failure as a parent, and even sometimes questioning if something was wrong with my child. I'm gonna go through our timeline, the tools that I found the most helpful so that you don't waste a bunch of money on stuff. I'm also going to link a printable for you for our potty training chart and explain to you how we failed, tried again, felt like we were failing but persevered, and over the course of a month have become potty trained. Hopefully this video will help you in a realistic expectations and tips when it comes to potty training your child. But here's the deal. Our first attempt at trying to potty train was around just after she turned 2 years old. She had been showing a lot of interest in the toilet, reading her potty books, and showing interest when other kids were potty training, as well as when mom and dad were using the restroom. She wanted to try sitting on the toilet herself. She showed interest. We spoke with her pediatrician, and the pediatrician's #1 tip is not to rush it, because when you rush or when you put pressure on it, there will be regression and possibly constipation later on. We're like, yes, let's do it. We set aside 4 days where we were doing nothing but sitting at home with lots of activities. We were going to do the whole 3-4 day method. The child is in nothing but a long shirt or a dress, sticker chart, a reward system. We had treats, we had presents. We did the whole shebang. It was working the first day. We were doing really, really well. There was a lot of accidents, but she was getting the idea and she was having fun. Day 2, we had some deposits in the toilet and we were getting really excited. Around day 4 is when she refused to sit on the toilet. We're talking through a hissy fit, would not go on the potty. She was getting frustrated. She felt like we were forcing her to sit on the toilet every few hours, doing nothing but being at home. While we had some success with this method, it forced her to kind of rebel towards day 4. And then she kind of was just okay with wetting herself and sitting in it. Really backfired on us. You know what? She's not ready. We're not gonna force it. We give up. So we went back to diapers. A few months goes by. She's now 2.5 years old. We had a parent-teacher conference with her preschool. I brought up our potty training failure. I felt like a failure. I felt like I did something wrong. Maybe she showed signs of interest but just wasn't mentally ready. Then I also had noticed that when she woke up from naps and when she woke up in the morning, her diaper was dry. So that showed me that physically she was able to hold it for long periods of time, and that made me think that that was her showing indication that she was ready. The method that we had chosen was just too much pressure and too aggressive. I spoke with her teachers. Her teachers actually didn't really think that the 3-4 day method worked very often and that it took a lot more time. They offered to start helping us while she was at school. So we sent her to school with a ton of extra clothes. She was doing it at school. She went in the toilet. I couldn't believe it. Okay, well, this is great. She would not go in the toilet at home. We would try, but she would have an accident almost immediately after sitting her on the toilet. We went maybe like 2 weeks at school where she didn't have a single accident. And then the 3rd week, she was starting to have a few accidents here and there, but it was closer to the summer break. Had a couple more outings where the potty schedule was a little thrown off. Then she had summer school, which is the same teacher, same classroom, and same group of kids. We had her 5 days a week for the first week of summer camp. She showed a ton of success for summer school. And I think it was because of that Monday through Friday consistency. Unlike a lot of other summer schools, it was still the same environment as her preschool. And she was very, very successful during the first week of summer school, summer camp. Chris and I decided, okay, let's just power through this. We're taking the diapers away when she's with us, unless it's nap time or bedtime. I swear there were lots of tears on my end. I swear it felt like she never used the toilet when it was me or Chris. We would take her out and we knew she had to go. One example is we were at Kohl's. I put her on the toilet in the family restroom at Kohl's. We literally sat there and sang to her, did the whole potty song, sang Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. She sat there for about 20 minutes and I knew she had to go. And the second I took her off that toilet and we went into the store, she had an accident. I was so frustrated, and it took so much for me not to show that frustration or speak it out loud to her, because the number one tip that our pediatrician and that everybody says is that there cannot be any shame when it comes to accidents. There cannot be this pressure, because it will eventually cause regression or other issues when it comes to relieving themselves later on in life. I kept feeling like I was doing something wrong as a mom. I felt like such a failure. And this kept going on, and we would have successful deposits at home, but then going out was always very stressful. And finally, we found a system that kind of just worked for us. We would put the underwear on, and I like the thin traditional underwear versus the thicker training underwear. I found that with the thicker training underwear, if she were to have an accident or a leak, she would be okay in it because it didn't feel that different from a diaper. If we were out and I was afraid or stressed about her having an accident in public, I would put a pull-up over the undies. So the undies getting wet would make her feel uncomfortable, where she would let me know that she had an accident, but she wouldn't be leaking all over the restaurant or all over Dave & Buster's or all over Kohl's or all over Target. And these are actual events that have happened. Or even all over the car. That was the tip that I wish someone had said something to us, because they had talked about using pull-ups, which I don't think is beneficial for your child because it moisture wicks. And they're not gonna be familiar with that wet feeling, that discomfort, which is gonna help them realize, oh, I need to stop going in my underwear or my pants. It comes to the training underwear, which is just like a thicker underwear with absorbent padding in it. I didn't find that that was beneficial for us. In fact, I felt like it was delaying our progress. My biggest tip is just go for the undies. It's gonna be a mess, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And if there's places and times where you don't want it to leak out, you put the pull-ups over those undies. It's still relatively easy for you to pull them down in a public restroom or even at home. That was my biggest tip, and that helped me feel a little bit more confident and okay when we were out and about. Over time, we were able to take that away. What ended up happening was we kind of had to just listen to her and play it by ear, and she would have accidents, she would have deposits and successful deposits in the toilet. But at the end of the day, what really happened was just time. That was about 3 or 4 weeks of solid, like just keep doing it, keep trying. I swear to you, it was like overnight, she woke up and asked to go to the restroom and went to the bathroom, and we had an entire day of 0 accidents where she started to vocalize when she had to go. We continued the cheering, the high fives, the fist bumps, and the reward system with the candy. Now we're at a point where she's pretty much potty trained. There are still accidents here and there, specifically if she's really excited and into whatever she's doing, and we haven't been aware of how much liquids she's drank and haven't told her that she needs to go to the bathroom. But for the most part, I would say 85 to 90%, she will let us know if she needs to use the restroom, number 1 or number 2. But it's been about 2 months, and I would say my child is potty trained, and she's starting school next week. She's gonna go to school without any training pants. She's just gonna be in undies. Still wear pull-ups at night and for nap time. Tools that I recommend. This is my favorite one. I ended up buying 2 for both of our toilets that she uses. This folds down really easily. This is relatively affordable as well. It's under $40 on Amazon. I will link it for you in the description box. It sits over your regular toilet seat. The important thing here is that they can climb up on their own handlebars for them to hold on to, and it has a pretty comfortable little cushion situation. It comes in pink, blue, and gray. I really like it, really easy to take on and off. It gives them that independence. She can climb on this by herself. Over time, she's gonna be able to do her own potty break. So that's what I recommend for the house. What I recommend for when you are going out is this sucker. It folds down to this and it comes with its own pouch. We ended up getting 2. I lost one or left one at my friend's house. So it folds down like this, and you have little suction cups on the bottom, and you just place it over the public restroom toilet. There's a couple of options. You can buy those disposable cloths that also go over it. I don't feel like that's necessary. What we end up doing is just buying a thing of Clorox wipes, and I wipe it down when I'm done. It's up to each person's preference, but this is the best thing. We use it at Disneyland when we can't get to the baby center. It's really secure, so it's not gonna slip around. The suction cups are pretty strong on this thing, and it folds down really nicely so that you can just stick it all in here. This fits into her diaper bag, which we always carry extra wipes, extra undies, and an extra bottoms. So we always have an extra set of clothing for her because we just don't want to ever be without an extra set of clothes just in case. This is also allowed inside places like Disneyland, unlike some of the other options. If you feel uncomfortable putting this on a public toilet seat, you of course can put the liners down. But if you have the liners, what's going to end up happening is that the suction cup's not going to be sticking to the toilet seat, and it's going to shift. So that could freak your child out because they might not feel secure or they might fall in. And the final thing, which isn't necessarily necessary, but because we do drive long distances, I purchased this little thing for the back of the car. This is just a porta potty. Put a little baggie in it, and it actually has a compartment to hold all of the extra baggies, but it keeps popping open, so I just leave it in the car. This sits in the back of our car in the trunk, and we actually do use it. We've used it successfully. It's great if you're stuck in traffic, if you're on a road trip, or if you just don't want to use the public restroom. This is a good option. Also a good option for the park if there's not a public restroom you want to use. The great thing about this is you can actually take this toilet seat and bring it with you. You can take the little bucket part out. This whole system collapses down and fits into a pouch. You pull the legs up and out, and you can bring this with you into a public restroom and lay it over the toilet seat like this so that they don't fall into the normal size toilet seat. So if you wanted to and you were traveling, or if you only want to buy one thing, you could do this because it does that option. I also created a sticker printable chart on Canva because she's really into Mickey and Minnie. I created a cute little mini one, which I will have available for you to download in the description box. I do a sticker system as a reward system in the beginning, but honestly for us, what was more effective was just kind of like making it a part of our routine and our lifestyle and not freaking out when she had an accident. That was the hardest part for me personally, was not to get emotional and frustrated and angry about failing her, because that's how I felt, and really just letting her figure it out and being there to support her and to clean up the mess and making the messes as easy for me to clean up as possible. The number one tip I have for all parents is to find a system and a method that works for you, your child, and your lifestyle. That is key, because it is so unrealistic to think that this 3-day, 4-day, 2-week method is going to be functional or work for anybody and everybody. People have work, people have different schedules, people have to be out of the house. I feel like that system did not work for us because my child hates being at home. She loves our house and she's fine when we're home. She loves being out and about. And forcing her to stay home for 3 or 4 days straight made her regress from potty training because she didn't want to be home anymore. And she felt like potty training was what was keeping her from being able to leave the house, which was the truth. And she saw that because she's bright and she understands, and your kid is smart, your kid is brighter and catches on way quicker than we give them credit for. You have to find a system and a method that is realistic for you and your child. And 2, to take all shame, frustration, anger, and emotions out of accident. It is not on your child. They are learning something new, and it's so complicated to try and explain. You have to find different ways to explain it and repeat it to your child and be completely supportive and positive, no matter how dire you feel like the situation is. And then 3 is that trust that it will eventually happen for you. I swear there were so many nights I just stayed up talking to Chris thinking this is never gonna happen. But the reality is it will eventually happen. And the truth is it literally will just click like that overnight. You won't know when your child will suddenly just be able to tell you, but you have to stay committed and you have to have all of the people around you supporting you to do that. The crazy thing is, The Nugget showed more success at school with her teachers and even with my brother, who only watches her maybe once every few weeks. That was like a shocker for us, was that we left the house fully intending that she's gonna have an accident, but instead she told my brother, who isn't as familiar with her, even though she's familiar with him, just that she had to go. You have to live your life and you have to just tell everybody that's going to be with your child what's going on and what to do in these situations, because I swear to you, she showed way more success with different people than with mom and dad. After that day, after her telling my brother she had to go and us being like so supportive and like excited about it, it was that next day that she was telling Chris that she had to go to the bathroom every time, and it was suddenly like it just all started to click. I want to wish you good luck, patience, remind you that you are not a failure, you are not failing. It is just unrealistic to expect your child to pick up potty training in 3-4 days or even 2 weeks or even in a month. Your child will pick it up with your support, your understanding, your perseverance, and your guidance over time. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. I do long form content here every few weeks, and I post lots of shorts here every single day, as well as over on Instagram and TikTok. I also have a lifestyle blog, serein.com, where I post recipes, parenting tips, as well as just lifestyle content as a mom. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! Are they so cute? No. It wants to be buried.
Well, that's time though if you need me to do anything. I think Haley got fed.
Mama, wait.
It's awake.